up everyone, it's Jambor's new video reaction to snippets of rehearsals of semi-final 2, and this reaction won't be just I like it or I dislike it, but I will try to give you a little bit more edge to understand what works on the staging, what doesn't work on the staging, yet have in mind that those are just snippets. We are missing the context. This is the most important thing. Yet those stagings reveal some little details how the approach is to the staging, and also, for example, how the lights are used, if they follow some specific pattern, if they don't, if it's just a kind of like a more randomish atmosphere created, how the artists react, because regardless they are only rehearsals, the professionals, like the top professionals, they approach rehearsals like it's the audience, it's the one thing. It's not like gradation, it's like every single time I'm nailing it, because I was working on it for several months or weeks, perfectionizing it. Now I need to show 100% every single time, and there is one other reason why those artists should do it. The reason is that if you don't try it in the rehearsals, and in the rehearsals which you still can somehow influence much more, you can discuss with the producers and so on, this is the moment when you can do really changes and you can really focus, because you give 100%. So from you 100% is there, the rest should be kind of made up. If you are working on gradation, you cannot focus on other things, and it would be considered as a big thing. And because I saw it in the few rehearsals over here that is happening, this is why I'm stressing this out. Again, snippets, rehearsals, 30 seconds, not a full context. It can always look differently when something before and after will kind of play with what we see now. So this is not a reaction to say it's completely bad. There is anyway still space, you know, they will have many other options to try, and I will go not that super generally, but definitely after the Eurovision, or maybe also during it, I will start creating my master classes, so I will exactly describe you what was working on the staging or what was not, what little details played with the whole plan as a one thing, and that's the reason why you like it a little bit more, or why you don't know why you don't like it actually. And you can learn a lot of things about staging this way, so give it a shot. I have master classes for 2024 already on my channel, so watch them, learn something about the stagings. It will give you a little bit different perspective, how you will be able to describe what's not really working, or after all, what really worked better than you expected, and you cannot describe why, kind of technically. So this is what I will do, and I will start with the first country, which is Australia, but also let me tell that I will create a top 3 stagings and also top bottom stagings of these snippets, based on snippets, right? Still snippets. I can be I can change my opinion after I will see the 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes, 2 and 30 minutes, depends on the song, after I will see them, right? So, but this is what we have right now. So let's do it, starting with Australia. Okay, Gojo and the Milkshake Man, a big shake or blender. He's changing the dress, color palettes, 70s/80s, I would say more likely 70s, late 70s, nice atmosphere. It just doesn't work. And this snippet, the thing is that the dynamics is missing, even though there is a blender and he's there and with some dancers, it feels empty, the space feels empty. I think there are so many dark parts on the stage which kind of cannot cage him into this 70s, you know, rollerblade arena, you know, from the US kind of feeling. It's just having the colors, it's just having the dress, it's just having the blender, some changes, but the camera dynamics, the editing, and also how the color reacts on the sound doesn't really work, and it's somehow too big for him, and it doesn't work in my opinion, and I don't have a good feeling out of this snippet what it was shown, because it feels more likely a television show from New Year's Eve. The scene, cool, but I think Eurovision standard is a little bit higher regarding the stagings and regarding the demand of the edit the camera work, and of course the overall light and the atmosphere. And I don't think it somehow creates the right thing to him, because even regardless there is a huge prop on the stage, it feels it's extremely close to the LED screen, and that somehow there feels so much empty space around, which he is not somehow able to fill, at least in this snippet. So for me, I think if they want to, or let's see the whole thing, but if they want to make it like stronger, you must focus a little bit more on him than on the general scene, because the comedy aspect is kind of there but not sold properly. If you don't agree, if you agree, in the comments below. Anyway, let's move on to the other country, which is Montenegro. Nina Žižić, dobro došli. Huge surprise for me. I didn't expect such a good staging, and I'm saying it with all the honesty. There are little details which can be worked a little bit better, but they're not. This is the thing, you know. Eurovision offers you many camera angles, and they play, for example, in here amazingly with the music graphically. She's doing her part, she having big dress, it's definitely grabbing the attention. I'm not sure if I like the dress that much, I think it's maybe too much, but okay, you will remember this. This is definitely a rememberable thing, and she can sing perfectly. Somehow, it takes you to the Balkans, you know, so it feels appropriate at some point. The thing is, what is not working that well, and they could even work on it a little bit better, is the light setup. It works in the general pictures, or if you have a frontal shot on her, it works because you can feel that all the elements which are in the music, and they are more dominant than the others, they have the right lighting setup, they do the right beat, that you can feel the music works. But then when they use the closer shot from the profile a little bit more, you can see that this light setup kind of missing, because it cannot really radiate through. It doesn't have the, you know, it misses the beat. And I think if they construct every single shot the way that you feel the music also with it, it would be a little bit better. It would really help, because you go from the perfection to something is missing, boom. And all those little doubts, even though you are not able to describe them, they cause points, because you need to really impact, and the impact really works if all of those elements, camera angles, or camera angles and camera movement, edit, and the light reacting, interactive light kind of reacting to the most important elements of the song at the moment, would be somehow visualized, even though a little bit in the background, but your brain is feeling it, and then it's feeling the pulsing of the song, which in here is happening. You know, this very nice element when the graphic really slides down, on point, all of it just from various angles, a little bit different feeling, and they should a little bit think about it. I don't know if there is a time for it to add a little bit more lights into those moments, but it would really help them. Like I thought I will be a little bit general, right? But yeah, this is general. Like you cannot like expect what can happen in the masterclass. It's very, very robust. And still, about one staging I could talk not half an hour, but like 1 hour or 2 hours. I could describe you every single thing, almost. Anyway, let's move on to Ireland. The snippet from Emmy and like her song Like a Party. And for me, this was it didn't work. The snippet doesn't work on me for the snippet again, for several reasons. First of all, the way of camera movement. It's like, you know, all of it feels like we don't want to be here. It feels that it somehow mistakenly got into the Eurovision, and this is I don't want to hate on it at all, but the feeling is, alright, let's do this slow shot. Even she's like, nah, the long tone, note, but she's doing it dynamically. The camera is like, and everything feels like this. Also, her presence is there like, I'm not confident, I don't feel it, I don't want to be here. You cannot do this, because all those little details play a role, because you will not have many other choices or opportunities to really put 100% into it. And if you've never done it, how do you know that this is the 100%? And this, the whole staging it kind of does everything right like it would do in 2015. Lights are blinking at the right moment. The graphics are working at the right moment. The dancers are doing it, like, if you look at it probably from the viewer's position in the crowd, you would say very cool. But then, how important is editing and how important is dynamics of the camera movement? And those two elements are missing in here. They are not complementary to the song, and therefore they are not really complementary to her, even though she's not helping it. And for the whole song, it's all blends. Like, it's not there. It's not there. And this is I wouldn't say a mistake, but I think if you have such a song which is already not crazily strong, but it's dancing, you must support it with the camera movement. You must. If all the other elements are working, this not working, but this is the visual, right? This is what you actually see, then there is a problem. That's why this staging really would need completely redone the camera work, at least from this snippet, maybe in the whole context this kind of slow elements and so would work, but I really don't feel the dynamization at all. It's not dynamic enough. And let's move on to other country, which is Latvia, Tautumeitas, Burman Laimi. Everybody likes this staging of the visual. It's improved. I like the colors. I like how they play with the atmosphere. Love the costumes. I definitely love those pictures which was taken by the photographer of EBU. I forgot the name. Sorry. I will try to tag because I'm sorry. They are really, really good. The issue I have with this snippet from the technical point of view, there is this moment when they go close up to and then, but you can see how the music is starting to be vibrant. If this is supported on those how is it called, like on this curtain made of those ropes or whatever it is, if this is supported by light, it would be fantastic. Now it feels it's more like atmospheres than the choreography, which works. But if it would be supported also by the proper light work, and I'm not talking about a general atmosphere of light work, but the reactive of the light work to support the musical elements, it would prepare you much better for what's going on. And for me, this is a little bit average now because of this, because those are things nowadays you shouldn't forget about. It must be really perfect, and those are the little details which makes a difference between average and perfect. And in my opinion, this is more to the average part with the feeling, because it cannot drag you in. And you might not agree with me, but in this way, I know I'm absolutely right. We can discuss it, but maybe I will try to add this effect to it. Maybe watch this. Better, right? Yes, I told you so. Anyway, let's move on to Armenia Park and Survivor, and bravo. I like it. I liked already the national selection staging. This comes with a little bit different, or it's completely different vibe. Differently aggressive, more artistically, deliberately chosen into the extreme contrast. So he kind of, it looks like the movie from the 80s a little bit. He's this Rambo guy also. It's dynamic, extremely dynamic cameras. I really like how they play with the Lego lights over here, that they basically completely killed the set, at least at this part of the snippet. Everything works on itself. Camera angles, him, aggressive lights, aggressive colors, even though it's almost monochromatic, right? It's not. It's just a huge contrast. So like a huge clarity also, that he kind of went, like everything is extremely concrete, the way which is not realistic, which by the way works on this. It looks like a video game a bit, but with the realistic graphics, right? And I like it. I like the dynamics. Extremely dynamic. It really listens, at least the snippet really follows the song the complete way, because this is really embodiment of the song. the way I maybe wouldn't even expect it, but it really works. I really, really like it from technical part, how it follows the music, how it follows the essence of the song. I think this is important. They really grab the essence of the song, find a technical solution for it, find the choreography, find the posture, find the camera angles, camera movements, editing, and effects. All of this together creates one amazing 30 seconds. And this is very promising in my opinion, because it's authentic to itself. I don't know if people will like the song that much, but definitely with such an approach, even a bad, this is not a bad song, but with the bad song, you can create absolutely fantastic way when it's embodiment of the essence of the song, which this feels it is, and it's done extremely right. So I have no worries about Armenia. I think Armenia can even qualify because it creates the effect. It's rememberable because of it, because you will have also this feeling like wow. I think at least, because from my perspective, this worked very nicely. Very good job, Armenia. Very good job. And let's go on to JJ Wasted Love from Austria. They shown kind of a beginning of the song. I think there is a little bit bigger plan. They chose monochromatic. I think this is a perfect solution. I don't know if this will be holding the whole time, but it creates the intimacy. Now, this is this part, right? It's very hard to judge the beginning of the song. Same, I had the issue with Estonia in the previous video, because from this part you have nothing to grab, it's just really simply the complete beginning. Like, let's see where it will go. There are a few things which are a little bit disturbing to me. The first of all, JJ there looks like a boy, like really boy, like a 10-year-old, which is disturbing for me. It's like a little bit weird. And then the way how the paper boat coming to him, it's on some, I don't know, little string or something. It's shaking like this, and it feels nervous, And from this you need because the flow of the song is very velvetish, very calm, and the boat is doing this. I know it's technical, but it's an issue, because it feels, regardless, it's not a person's doing the unsure movement, it feels the boat is nervous, and that moment kills the vibe of this very smooth melody. Because if the boat really comes smoothly, that would be a different kind of feeling. Maybe they could have done it graphically, even though it would be probably very costly. It would look maybe a little bit better, and it will be short trajectory, I think with this also, all the arena, it's like it's hard to make a little string not to shake. I know technically this is almost impossible, or they need to find a different solution, because with this, I think this is not a perfect start. It's a disturbing, confusing start, and in stagings, in television in general, also in music a little bit, but it's like in the books. First sentence, they say it's the most important part of the book, kind of. If it will grab you and you have the interest to continue, but already with the vibe like, okay, it already leads somewhere, or you are like not sure, because you will remember very well the initial impression, and that it's very hard to knock off during the whole performance. If there is a doubt from the beginning, that it's a little bit of issue, and this is kind of a mystery, but nervous mystery, and I think they need to a little bit work about it. My impression, I think it will definitely, the song said it will become epic, so maybe in the whole context that wouldn't matter, but definitely that made me this impression. This was the impression the snippet made on me from the rehearsal. But let's continue to Claudia Asteromata from Greece. I'm disappointed, honestly, with this one. First of all, like, she sings perfectly, okay. That, after all, almost everybody sings very well. But the staging doesn't give me the atmosphere vibe at all, anything. With her dress, with her hairstyle, combination with the colors they use in the snippet, and exactly, and this is the thing, I'm talking about lights. They are not supporting the song. They are just doing stuff, they are doing things, but they are not following what's really going on in the music. And that's like 3 different bodies. One is her, Claudia. Second body is the music, and the third music is the interaction with the stage. And the stage is doing changes and everything, but not in the moments where the music tells you and how it tells you. When there is a musical change, some beat, some note, it's not supported because the stage is doing something randomly, kind of. It doesn't connect together, and that I feel very disconnected from this part of the snippet from the rehearsal because of the technical imperfection. It's very old schoolish. It's very old schoolish in the way that, like before, it was just enough, create the atmosphere, let it blink somehow whatsoever, and the artist will perform. But this is not enough in current competition. It must be much more deeper created, which didn't really happen in here. But it is what it is. The completely opposite example of how it should be actually. It's Lithuania, Tavoakis and Catharsis singing it, making it, the band. This exactly shows how staging should be done. First of all, the camera movements, they are very smart. When he's coming, the camera going very slowly to his face, but the LED screen behind is creating this shuttered effect, slow motion, and then really follow this detail very, very well. There is the drum. Look what lights are doing. They are exactly doing the beat, exactly following it, but not just everywhere, but like it's moving. And that's why it has crazy depth, because your senses are fed. They are fed. Just I'm talking about it, I have goosebumps. Like always when I'm watching it, I have goosebumps. First of all, the frontman, he has a huge charisma. That helps. And this is very important. He's absolutely sure of what he's doing. It's the confidence in him which makes it very special. The rest supported this. When you see all the other shots, all the edits, the dynamization, the camera movement, the light interaction in the right angles with the camera, so it has depth, it has layers, and those layers are correlating to each other, are supporting every single thing in the song. The atmosphere is absolutely brilliant. I'm very curious how this will turn out in a full context, but this snippet is masterpiece. I'm normally telling this because this just proves that they know what they are doing and they're not playing. That's why it feels not just confident, but real. And the realness is supported exactly by those effects, which doesn't even feel like effects, right? Because it works. And that's why you don't even need to focus on it. I see it because this is my job after all. But that's why it works all together. All the little elements, every single element is supporting the other one. And together they are creating one body. And your brain can decipher it even if you don't know the right words, how to describe it yourself. The way how you are able to absorb it, it's natural. And there is nothing disturbing about it. So this is how you do it. Anyway, let's move on to serving Mirjana Conte. This is what it is. It's cheesy, it's quirky, it's straightforward, very Eurovision, very dirty. It does what it should do. It does what it should do. Again, at the right moment. They are not playing, they came to serve. And Malta did amazing job with the staging because, again, the artist really works over there. All those elements, I think that might be a little bit problem for them, that it's maybe too I'm using the word dirty, but I think the right, like too sexual, like with the spreading legs and so on. I think it can also cost them lots of points because it's too much, Like, remember that the general audience, they are not just Eurovision audience or just men or just women or just extremes. It's a normal, casual families, kids, and also like, if you're a dad or a mom, this is not really a thing you also want your kid to look at that much maybe. Like, it's not my case, but I can empathize with if somebody is having this approach towards it. So it's a risk, but technically It really works graphically, costume-wise. This big mouth prop with this glitter ball all works. It's very straightforward. They don't try to be mysterious or something. Like, it is what it is. We know what it is. Let's not hide it. Boom, bam, it's there. And I think they are aiming very high with this, because not probably the highest, but it will work. It will work. And this semi-final actually has this one, and also Finland. I will talk later about it, with the same overall vibe but a different atmosphere. This is very Eurovision wise, a little bit old schoolish, kind of, in a good way. I think this is in a good way. Finland goes like minimalistic way, which doesn't look minimalistic at all. But let's come to this later, because let's move on to Georgia, Mariam Shengelia and her song Freedom, which surprised me actually. I don't know what to think about the staging or the costume there, because it seems that it changed from some other atmosphere, which I have a problem with the song in this case, because the song is very complicated and it's very hard for me to catch those elements. But what I really like, and I like they are focusing on it a lot in this snippet, is her, the way how she performs, because this is extremely professional. You can believe her every single movement, word, tone, gesture. It really works. And the most important part of staging is the artist, after all. On the other hand, in this the song is for me so hard to grab that I don't really understand the concept of the staging. So for me, it's like this ambivalent feeling, with the very big exception of her and how she's grabbed by cameras. I think if they shot it the similar way how they shot the music video, basically also from the stage, with big depth of field, big nice light atmosphere and so on, and less Eurovision, maybe also with a proper microphone, not this. There is this for some reason, but always better when the artist has the microphone in the hands, because it feels a little bit more realistic than having this thing, because then it's like also Australia, but kind of theatrical, but it's not a musical, right? What we are doing in here, it's more likely close to the concert than a musical, in my opinion. So I don't know. This is hard for me to tell if it's done very properly or not, because really for this I would need more time and more context to decipher. Let's see. I don't know how they might end up, but her performance really in the snippet, this is exceptional. This is what I really adore, like seriously. And I would say the same actually about Denmark and Hallucination. I know that she might sing even better. Yes, she might sing even better, but you know, it's important, the body language. And she delivers the body language, and what they deliver is definitely better staging than they have in national selection, even though I expected somehow more maybe from the snippet, but they at least cage her in the lights. They use the lights, they created more layering atmosphere, more colors, dancers. But what I like actually on it, that the focus in the snippet, at least, it's almost completely on her. Almost completely, because there is this one moment when one dancer feels like he doesn't know what he's doing somehow. That was my impression. But this is a technicality, which is not perfect. But the thing is that they created a way that the whole staging is pulled on her, and he is the she is the central part of the staging, and somehow really works with the movement and so on. Very classical Eurovision thing, dancing camera and so on. I have nothing too much to say it's wrong, because I think it really works for the song itself. Maybe I would choose a little bit different vibe or approach, but for this approach, this what they do with the cameras, edit, camera movement, the dress, it works. And this is the only song like this which is very classical Eurovision in this very Loreen-ish way somehow. The old, like 2013 Loreen, I think, right? This feels this way. Somehow it gets this atmosphere. But let's move on to the other country, which is Czechia. Of course, this is my domestic country, and what to say? So this is the thing that we see the stage. It's opening, dark and white, like a huge church or big circus tent, but black and white. Good atmosphere. I really like how they prolong the stage with this graphical illusion, what recreates the shape of the arena, which I think they created very nicely. And then from the first shot, it loses the atmosphere. From the first shot on Adonis. The thing is that he feels extremely unsure of what he's doing there with the cameras. I don't know if this is because of the makeup or it's because of his posturing contradicting his movements. Also, I think the light of the whole, like the stage in here, it's the more likely the atmosphere in the snippet. Also, the editing is more likely the atmosphere than respecting the songs, like the key elements in the music. In this moment, for example, the phrasing and the way how he do like very sharp movements, which are also not correlating to how he looks and how he behaves, the body language. It feels unsure or unprepared for cameras from his side, like he would be nervous or something. I don't know if this is a true or this is a concept itself. The thing is that the contradiction from the song itself, which is kind of epicy but also gently strong, it feels like a very manly thing when then somebody unsure in the body language, not in the vocal, but in the body language, sings it and doing like very sharp moments, but don't know actually when to look into the camera, when not. And all of those things, also with the costume, feels a little bit inappropriate. I think if they dressed him as a king, and I think it somehow works, he must also own the stage. Because after all, it's the artist, and he must own it. It must be 100% sure, but sure not the way automatized movement, because this is how it feels. I now need to do this, and now I need to do this, but it feels practiced, but not natural. Not natural towards how his posture and face expression is. You like somebody was telling, I will be a little bit longer in here, but I think it's important to say that he's like Freddie Mercury, but Freddie Mercury was a man. He was radiating a manly energy, and every movement, everything he did, he owned it, and it felt very natural. But it was coming with the also pack. He was dressing himself like, it was working, and in here it feels like a play of something which is contradicting. So it's like you, if you want to be a Freddie Mercury, and I know it's Adonis, but you must be this 100% confident, like Erika Wickman is actually. This is basically how it is. Or you must be very gentle, very femboyish, because this is how it also feels, which doesn't kind of fit. But if you like this, fine. But all of the movements must be like this. They must be like this. You cannot be both. You cannot be femboy Freddie Mercury. This collides in the wrong way. And because the staging doesn't really helping it in the way, because it's just creating the atmosphere. Because if you just focus on it, the light effects, the light, how it reacts, at least from the angles of the cameras we see, they are not correlating to the music. They are not on point with the music. The edit, I think it's kind of good. And the other point I have with this, it's a little bit disturbing for me, maybe not for general audience, is that they are using two Steadicams over there for sure. But I can always see a camera guy in almost every second shot, which is disturbing, because again it takes off this kind of piece of the moment for just Adonis. And then of course this unsureness of the movement. The edit, I think this is kind of fine. Camera angles, for example, there is this camera going from, from, like if I do this, it goes from down to up, which should empathize his being a king. This is how it is, this is how in movies you show villains over the good guys, because they are looking from above, they're looking also taller. But in here, when he looks into the camera, then he realizes probably he shouldn't or something. No, it must be sure. The movement, how he grabs the microphone when his hand is shaking, it says that it's not prepared perfectly, or he's extremely stressed, but that's something he needs to be led by the director to calm down. He must own it. He must come on the stage. You must be a diva. You cannot be halfly diva. You must be a diva, and diva owns the stage again. And then it doesn't matter how they will edit. It doesn't matter how the lights will be reacting, how the changes, how perfect the general atmosphere will look if he will not own the stage. Because otherwise it won't work. And because they didn't help it with the dress, contradicting maybe him somehow, even maybe they tried to be actually working, but they feminized him to that much that with the aggressive lights, which this black and white atmosphere creates, this dark lord feeling a little bit, or like real drama, it's contradicting itself completely, everything together. And I think it all comes because you can feel, even though maybe you cannot describe it, that he's unsure completely on the stage, at least in this snippet at this moment from this rehearsal. And this is something they need to work on, and they have few rehearsals to do it, but they lost the time with it for some reason. They should have practiced it more with the cameras in Prague, in my opinion, because then he could see the feedback from his movement and so on. This must be smooth. Otherwise, there will be this weird feeling that nothing kind of is wrong, but meh. And that's the reason. That's the biggest reason why. Okay, let's move on to Lauraton Le Poupée Monteleson. This gives me, like, I like the dynamics. They did everything perfect with the lights, much better than Ireland, I would say, because it has the atmosphere, because she can kind of sell it. And Luxembourg had better staging in the national selection for this kind of, it felt more, I think they are limited by this kind of stage, or they didn't choose the right proper way how to use it, even though maybe there will be some other surprises. But it feels, on this frame, it feels kind of very staticky. Probably there are not so many cameras how they can shoot it, so they are limited, because most of the cameras will be, of course, meant for the central stage. But it has very nice quirky atmosphere. I would actually expect more pinkish, more vibrant colors. This feels a little bit retro, which more likely it's a way how they wanted to go, but I think it's a little bit too much. Because the song is vibrant, colorful, playful, and I think I miss a bit of this playfulness in it, at least from the snippet. So this is what I would add. Otherwise, if I don't count the limited camera angles they chose for some reason over there, which was the similar issue with Belgium from the snippet, they would need to dynamize it with more color palette, more vibrant, so then it will give you this nice vibe of the song also kind of radiates. Otherwise, I think it won't work that crazily well, even though I think she works amazingly on the camera somehow. Somehow I like it. Even I think the song, same as Ireland, it's more for the competition in below in junior song contest than the real one, but why not? Why not after all? And let's move on to Israel. New Day Will Rise, definitely the most monumental prop I saw so far. Amazingly looking, amazingly big. The first shot's epic, but I have a problem with the staging. Now you would say, like, but it's a big prop, everything, it works on the wide shots amazingly because it feels epic. She feels epic, the song feels epic. Whenever they go close up, nothing is going on. Nothing is going on. You cannot enjoy the epicness. It should have been shot more filmic way, but this is contradicting the visual on stage, which is very epic, very filmic, very dramatic, but the close shots doesn't work the same way. Maybe it's because of her presenting it, but I would say more likely because you lose this kind of epicness, and also nothing is going on in, like, you go from the big, very filled, very rich picture to nothing. This is the issue, because they are contradicting itself, and also the fact that it's more shot the very old classical television way with non-classical staging. And this is very important, how the camera works, the way how you work with the camera, maybe what lens you use. It's extremely important, especially in such a filmic moment, because then you lose this filmicness. And that's why the staging doesn't work on me from the snippet at all, because it's a little bit contradicting itself. It's not complementary. You have one layer, or you have one element, which is the white epic epicness, big, all there really works because it feels huge, it feels overwhelming, it feels impressive. And then you go close and it completely loses this vibe. But completely. And if they work from layers, if they, for example, because they have ways they can shoot through. If they put on the camera some of those little, those things from those crystals or whatsoever, a little bit, and create like a first layer to the second one to create a depth, that would work. But they didn't think about it, and then you miss one layer, you miss, not shot well in my opinion, at least from the snippet. I don't know if they can change it, but I think this loses this epicness. And what doesn't lose its epicness, it's Serbia, Prince Mila, when they choose the snippet which starts that the guys are dragging him from the wall. I really want to see the context, because when I saw it first time I was like, but what I'm looking at? I didn't know what I'm looking at, I thought it's a clown on the floor, because I saw only those hair. I thought this is some cap. I was like, but what is this? Like, who? I did like to decipher this scene very hard. It's comedical. Like, from this snippet, definitely feels comedical, and definitely not like, it doesn't, like with the song, I don't understand it because it feels more funny than, dramatic and serious, which I don't think is the way they wanted to present it. Anyway, I was on the Twitter and also the Czech Discord for Eurovision. I was complaining about how he's dressed. But now when I see it in the atmosphere with the lights and the stage, I think it really works. Somehow it works. He doesn't look that short. I don't know in the whole context of the staging, but definitely in the snippet it kind of works because the lights and the chroma they chose for this, the color palette they chose for how to light it, it's really complementary to this dress. He really stands out somehow, and it doesn't look cheap or weird, or they chose probably the different way than I was basically expecting. That's why I was disturbed by this, but it makes sense in this context. Otherwise, the staging from the snippet, I would say it's somehow trying to be more effective or create this kind of like, let's put so many things there, so many ideas there, but not to really complement all of it. And I think sometimes less is more, and the snippet kind of shows that there is a little bit too much, at least for my taste. But I think this staging would need my much bigger focus to decipher. I cannot wait for it, because I think in here the context is important, because the start of the snippet, how they are dragging from the wall, always this kills it, a little bit for me to, it's hard to focus on it. It somehow doesn't belong. But from this context, because there is not the part what was happening before, so I don't know actually where to place it also in my rankings from the snippet. I don't know, but I'm visually, him works, and I think this is very important that he stands out from it. Let's see. And the last one is Erika Wickman, Ich komme. I have nothing to say. I'm not the favorite of the song at all, you know it, or at least if you follow me, you know it, that I'm not a fan of the song anyhow, but the performance is brilliant. The performance is brilliantly shot, the performance is brilliantly written, properly, everything really works, everything is on its place at exactly the same moment. Exactly. It's on point. And she is on point. She is 90% of that staging. She really owns the stage. You can see the sureness, the confidence, it's prepared. Like, really, she is absolutely 100% there. And for me, from this snippet already, she really becoming a big favorite. Not maybe to win, but something like Karea, something like Baby Lasagna. I think this is the Baby Lasagna and Karea of this year, actually. Not Kai, not Espresso Macchiato, but Erika Wickman, actually. First of all, it follows the similar pattern. Second of all, it's again absolutely surely done with all the aspects. So she is alone there, and you feel it's a full stage of things. Even though I know there is a mist and there is or fog, there it's lit up through elements, blah blah blah. But she's there alone, and it feels like the picture is full of her, and I'm enjoying watching it. It really charismatically works on me, even much better much better than it was doing in UMK, even though basically this performance probably will be a copy, you know, of it in the context of the stage in Basels. I have nothing to say wrongly. Like, everything in this snippet is perfect. It's the opposite basically to Czechia in this way. But that's why this works. If she is unsure of what she's doing, it won't work at all. The staging is completely based on the artist. And if the staging is completely based on the artist must be like Erika Wickman. Absolutely certain of what is going on. Absolutely. Like, no, like zero, even a millisecond of doubt. Just because she's there to own it. You must be unsure as a viewer, not her. You know, this is the position. And this is why it really works, regardless if I like the song or not. It's simply, they follow the essence of the song, delivered, she's delivering, fine by me, works. Really works. Amazing ending of the semifinal 2. And now let's go to my top 3, shall we? So obviously the first from the top 3 is Finland. I said it before, this is a pure perfection, works perfectly, there is nothing to complain about. Lights are on point, camera work is on point, general atmosphere is on point, the shots are on point, and she is 100% confident and sure what she is doing. And then like, this is exploiting through it's normally like going through the screen to your brain. This is absolutely perfection. The second in my top 3 stagings from the snippets rehearsals is Lithuania, Catharsis, and their song Tavo Akis. This is pure perfection also. Again, it has the same elements as Erika Wickman's Ich komme. It's absolutely sure, it's absolutely on point. The edit, the camera angles, the graphics behind, the atmosphere created, the main artist, the frontman, it's pure perfection. This is the staging. It's not about how many effects and so on must be there. No, it must be grab the essence and try to elevate it as much as possible that the song itself and the artist stand out as one thing, that it delivers the right proper atmosphere. The snippet, it's perfect, period. And the third one is yes, and the third one for me is Armenia. This snippet is another perfection, everything on point, follows the atmosphere of the song, giving Park this super masculine, manly feeling, which the song also reflecting. I know so many people complain about the English. I don't really care about it because it works in this context. It really does, and I'm not a native English speaking person, so it's not also making me somehow nervous about it. I don't really care. He's still understandable to me very well, more than many English speakers with the accents, you know, which are very of what we are learning in the school, what we see in the series or shows and anything. So whatever it is, I don't care. As one body, it works extremely aggressive. It's supported by all the technology there. Fine by me. Absolutely perfection. But let's now go to the opposite side. The bottom 3 snippets rehearsals. Still take it in mind. And first of them is Australia. This simply doesn't work on me. It doesn't have the proper atmosphere sold in the snippet. By the angles, he's expressive, clownish, but I'm not sold this because it's too empty for such a show. There should be much more happening. He's taking things, grabbing things, shakes whatsoever. It's not happening. He's a guy with on the stage with a blender, too empty space to fulfill this comedical aspect, and it's based on it. And that he's red dressing and changing doesn't really change a thing, because with this, I think they should support with this retro atmosphere more with the camera filters or something then. Otherwise, it feels really empty. And for me, this emptiness, it's killing it. The atmosphere, the charisma doesn't really translate to me this way. Sorry. The second bottom of the bottom 3 is Ireland. That, again, it doesn't translate anything. It doesn't talk. It's there. it's happening, it's going on, but every element of it, how it's connected together, feels they don't want to be there. Actually, it's like, okay, we are at Eurovision, we need to do something, we need to use cameras, edit something, dancing, okay, it makes sense, graphics, but they don't talk to the audience, in my opinion. It's like, let's get over with. This is my feeling from it, and definitely atmospherically doesn't work at me at all. Maybe if it's edited better and if it's more dynamized, that would help it. But this is like, we are here, but you know, we won't qualify, so what? This is how it feels. This is the impression. This is a wrong impression I should have, right? Anyway, and the third song from my bottom three is Greece. It is Greece, because there is nothing working in this snippet together. It's like many things are happening, not connected to each other. She looks like she doesn't belong on this stage on the rock. I understand there is some sentiment towards her, some story, but now visually, it's not working together. Then this part doesn't work with what lights are doing with the song. And again, okay, good story, but it should somehow smoothly continue with itself. Then the camera shots, again, what are you trying to show me? That the atmosphere changed, but I don't feel it in the song and in her. And then you have the lights, and the lights are doing like not random stuff. Somebody programmed them, right? But they are not correlating to what's going on musically there, and it's disturbing elements, and everything together doesn't talk to each other. So that's why I chose also Greece, and I hope the whole context in general for all the songs will even elevate everything, and maybe will create a different atmosphere, different vibe, different feeling, because of course those are the parts taken out of the context, and it might make much more sense when the context is in. Let's see about it. I wish all the contestants luck. I also hope that you will write me in the comments below what do you like, what don't you like, if when I was talking about something, if you felt it or saw it after all, if you could decipher a little bit with me to learn. Prepare for my masterclasses. This was like basically a little talk about it, and I really hope that you enjoyed this very huge and long video with me, and that you subscribe to like the video, and if you want to support me a little bit more, becoming members of my channel for some exclusive content and time exclusivity of my videos. But definitely it would support me, it would be nice. So hope I will see you in the member section. Well, and for the rest of you, I see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.